What's up? What's up?
Good morning, James.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good. I love your intro. That's solid.
Man, it's the funny thing. Every time I watch that, on my 40th birthday, I jumped out of an airplane, and every time I watch that, is bringing that moment back up to me. I never want to do it again, but I mean, it's just it was kind of crazy.
Woo. Yeah, that's courage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, look, everybody. Once again, we're having our James live interview with an agent that's killing it. We do these every Thursday at 11 o'clock, and today we have Michael Foster here, and just being able to share some of the stuff that he's been able to do to grow his team, build his business up, and what he's been able to add back to the real estate community. So Mike, I know we've known each other, and we talk, you know, what a couple of every few months or so. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, background, and how
sure.
you got into real estate.
Yeah, that's the first question I ask any realtor because it's always interesting how people get into this business, right? It's so many different ways. So I was in the home furnishings business for a number of years, running companies like Pennsylvania House, Broyhill Furniture, and my last gig, my last 5 years, I ran the Calvin Klein home division out of New York. And honestly, Karen was in real estate, my wife, and I was traveling 40 weeks of the year, hardly, 120 cities a year, just crazy travel. And I just called her one night. And I think I was in like snowy Detroit for some reason. I said, "Hey, Karen," I said, "how's that real estate business?" She says, "Oh, it's going pretty good." She says, "I need to hire somebody." I said, "Can I interview?" And it was a crazy decision, right? Because I had a good gig going on there, but quality of life is really important. And this thing that we were doing together, I said, "Well, let's just try it." So anyway, that's what we did. And we had already kind of raised our three kids. We're almost at the I guess you call it empty nester stage in life. And Courtney was already living in London. Grady was already working for Arizona State out in Scottsdale. And so we decided, let's go for it. And the best thing I ever did. I tell everybody, I wish I would have done it 5 years sooner, because the thrill of helping someone make the most important decision of their lives and having that responsibility on your shoulders, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have that passion, right, James? You've got it. You got that burning fire in your heart and the compassion to help others. And I think that's what sets people apart from other agents. And anyway, so, we've been doing this together since 16. Karen and I were at Remax in Greensboro. And true story, our last year Remax, Karen and I were number one agent in the group. We left $40,000 on the table because you never go to 100% at Remax. It was only 95. And
Hmm.
I just said to Karen, I said, "You know what? This is not the Red Cross. we're not doing this for charity." And so we joined EXP February 19. We just had our 3-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
And we have one other partner. I think you met Scott Vosberg, maybe in one of the masterminds we were together. So the three of us started from scratch, called ourselves the Prosperity Builders. And in 3 short years, we've brought in 55 agents into our team. And it's a unique team, and we'll get into that. But we have loved it, the support that we get from the company and from the community with people like yourself. I mean, isn't it great? You and I can pick up the phone and get a piece of nugget that we'd have to look and research and then wonder if it really works or not. I could call James Massey and he can tell me it works. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, man. Man, it's the collaboration is like no other I ever seen anywhere else. Um, Plus the simple fact that like just think about it. We met in Key West, so we're going to a mastermind, and you go in there to learn. You really don't know what you're gonna entail in that whole situation, but you end up meeting like lifelong people that's gonna be in your life, departing into you. Like, I mean, every time I talk to you, man, it's like, all right, let me write this down. This will write that. That's will write it down, or and this other one's will write it down, or then you come back and you just want to do better, right?
Right. Right.
I just never had that culture anywhere else.
No, it's funny you say that. So I've heard this expression many, many times. It's really wise to be the dumbest person in the smartest room. And my first mastermind with the Honey Badger group, as we're lucky to be a part of in EXP, was in Cincinnati. And when I saw the bios of the people who are going to be there, I turned to Karen and said, you know what? Maybe we should cancel. I mean, we have no business being in that room with those quality of talent. But it was the best thing we ever did, and that's why we went to Key West with you, and we go to these events that John, our mutual coach, has on a quarterly basis, and it's amazing because it not only like you said, do we get the information and help, but we get a confidence boost, right, or an affirmation that we're on the right track, that we're really not going the wrong way. And that's invaluable because you can't afford to go like just like you, we check our progress every quarter to build toward our annual goal, but you really can't wait till the end of the quarter to find out if you're doing it right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it's too late then. So this collaboration, like you're talking about, and having these events, and just the I call it agents helping agents. That's kind of our core culture here at Prosperity Builders. We are helping agents from every brokerage. A quick story. So there's this young guy. I've been talking to him, and he posted on the social media page, "Hey, I'm going out of town this weekend. Anybody help me?" So I just DM'd him and said, "Hey, Francisco, I'm good. I can take your couple at 10 o'clock." He says, "Man," he says, you're a broker in charge for a big organization. You can't." I said, "Yes, I can." He said, "Well, what do I got to pay it?" "Nothing, because you'll do it for me." And that's the mindset that we really want to get that across with Prosperity Builders. This confrontation and this competition that goes on, it's not healthy because we all lose sight of what the core values are and what's our core obligation, the client. Not winning against Bob Schmidt or Harry Bob. It's about the client winning so that you become the winner. We need to be the guide, not the hero.
Yep.
And I think agents lose sight of that, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, it's a few things that you all are doing. I mean, 'cause I know we talked about as far as like event wise. Um, can you share a little bit about that? I mean, I know you just had like one real big one, and you do like a little monthly thing as well.
Right,
Kind
right.
of share what that looks like. How many people and the whole gamut.
Yeah. Happy to, because when you do a lot of them too. When you pull them off, it's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
So, going back to what I just said a few minutes ago, our goal with these events that we're doing is to break down the barriers between agents and to bring value to them so they can help grow their business. And so our goal the first time was to put an event together that, first of all, it has to be first class, because the success of that event is a reflection on you. And if you do some little coffee clutcher thing and 10 people show up and the food's terrible, what are you gaining? So we put together this event in this 200-year-old building with 20-foot ceilings, and we have 1,200 people in the top Triad Agents Facebook group. We invited them all. The event was John Kitchens, who we know is our coach, who's only coached 13,000 sessions in 10 years, right?
That's all right.
I mean, it's just remarkable. So we invited John. Of course, he was on board. And we got Melissa Greer, who is the #1 agent in the world for Berkshire Hathaway, to come speak about building your brand. And then we had John do a second session, and then we had a question and answer. So it was a full day. We charged the people that came, I think it was $30. And we had a full breakfast from the top restaurant in town, catered, full lunch, cocktails at 4. And we saved the last hour to go around the room because this is something you and I learned from the mastermind. What was the biggest takeaway that
Yep.
you got from this event? And that was probably just as impactful and just as important to these people as anything else because they got to hear from their fellow agents about what they learned that day. And by the way, we had 10 different brokerages there in attendance. So it was not an EXP come join the company event. It was an agent helping agents. So we're very happy how it turned out. We yes, we did get some agents to join the company, and sure, that was a nice association, but it was a cash neutral event because we had our mortgage lender, our closing attorney. I think it was either Follow Up Boss or Zillow that attended, and so we actually between the ticket sales and those support vendors, we actually I think made a little money, which is really not the end goal, but it was terrific that we were able to pull it off. So that was in September. And what we decided to do was start doing monthly gatherings in the smaller communities around Greensboro. I mean, some people have heard of Greensboro, but I guarantee you very people have heard of Reedsville or Thomasville or whatever. So we have agents from all those areas, and we're assigning them the responsibility to get in touch with a local bar and reserve 5 to 7. We do like a 20-minute overview of the market or a Q&A, and then we have just social time. And we ask that agent to put it all together so it's not on all our shoulders. It's a lot of responsibility. And we'll get 10 or 15, 20 agents to show up because we buy them a first drink or whatever. And then we're building momentum and telling them about our next event, which is going to be April 28th. And that event, I think it's going to even be better. We have a guy by the name of Zachary Fouts coming. Zachary is a lead broker for a brokerage in Delaware, but that's not what he's known for. He's got 1.2 million followers on TikTok,
Wow.
50,000 followers on Instagram. And we got to know Zachary because of our prior association before we started coaching with John with Tom Ferry. And Zachary's going to come in and do 2 sessions, one on how to build your brand through social media and then how to build your business through social media. He tells the story that in 3 years of being consistent on social media and video, he does not prospect at all. All his business are people calling Zachary. Hey, Zachary, I saw you on Facebook. Can you list my house? Can you help me find a house? And that's a high aspiration. But if these agents can hear how you can build toward that, it'll be great content for them. And then we also have Kate Razabek, who is the number 2 person at Keeping Current Matters. And they are the industry-wide best respected prognosticator, forecaster of what's going to happen with the home business in the next quarter, next year. And so Kate will speak on the market, both in current terms and what the forecast for the future is. So those 2 headliners, and then this is why we're doing it this way. We have 4 agents from 4 different brokerages. They're going to be on a panel, and they're going to talk about their best practices each, and then have a Q&A. So it'll give, look, it's not rocket science. If you own a bar and you want to have people show up, you invite a guy who's a guitarist that has a great following, and 20 people are going to show up.
Yep.
So by including these 4 agents from the different brokerages, we're going to have a much better attendance. But same type of format. We already have 90 days ahead. We already have 36 reservations for the event, and we really just put the first save the date out 2 days ago.
Wow. Man, it's refreshing hearing all of this stuff that you're doing, man. Honestly, because I always wanted to be in a scenario where I was able to give back and help, and like I said, the culture here allows that. But now what you're doing is you're taking that culture that we have here, and you're bringing it out of just that, and you're including other brokerages, you're including other people that's going to be able to add value. And the agents that are showing up to the monthly events, cocktails, speak the language of real estate agents, free cocktails, right? So you get them in
Absolutely.
there for that. But then you're telling them about something that's going to really help them. So like regardless if whatever brokers they are, it's extreme value from the people that you're bringing together that's going to be able to like change somebody's life. Like just to be honest with me, my business did not grow until I started getting connected to the right people and being able to actually utilize those systems and grow from there. And at a certain point, it was we was having to pay for this stuff, but now a lot of this stuff we're getting is included. You're still paying for some stuff, but it's a whole lot more that you're not having to pay for than ever before when I first started. I don't know, is that your experience now, right?
Absolutely, 100%. No question about it. And here's the ancillary benefit of doing what you and I are doing. When we get into a transaction with one of these agents, and it's so smooth and so trusting and respectful because we have developed a relationship. And so the client, again, the customer wins because we're not competing against each other. We're not trying to outsmart the other one or throw at them that we are way more experienced than you are, so you just have to do what we say. No, there's none of that because there's that mutual respect and no love and trust, like coach tells us all the time.
Yeah. So all right, so yeah, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So you talked about lifestyle, before, when you originally got into real estate, just coming back over. Um, an agent that wants that lifestyle change. Maybe they're trying to, figure out. I mean, I know you was able to build your team, and you're growing like gangbusters right now. But what are some of the biggest things that you think that somebody can do to have that lifestyle change within their business, so they can start to have that freedom and success that you and your team are having now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the first thing that I get asked that from agents that we're talking to, and the first thing I tell them is success breeds success. And you want to be around people that have a success mentality. And you don't have that mentality unless you have the building blocks to make that happen. And so when someone comes to us, uh, why would we want to join EXP, or why would we want to be a realtor? Let's dial it back to just why would you want to be a realtor? Well, okay, what other vocation can you make such an impact on someone's life than being a realtor? And by the way, you get paid for it. Okay, but that's great, but you got to plug in to a system. And most agents who are independent or just getting started or are frustrated are because of either they don't get enough leads, they don't have any processes to run their business and as a foundation. All those things are the reasons they consider. And but here's what I tell everybody. Yeah, we have all that. We have lead generation. We have really good systems. We have a sales manager. I want to go into that a little bit with you. But what we really have is a desire to help you be successful. And we will assess where they are in their career and inquire, them tell us, not us tell them, where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? And it's not just the money. It's I want to be able to buy my first house, or I want to be able to pay off my college loan debt. Besides being a successful realtor, okay. Well, these are the building blocks. These 5 people have come into us, and we have put them on this program, and they've had that success. That's comforting, right? Because you're lost a little bit. What am I going to do? And we don't want agents, and you guys don't want your agents worrying about what they're going to do to get their next commission check. That's not any. You got to have. Here's what you got to have: the 4 C's. You got to have commitment to the business, courage to go after it, have the capability by learning how to get better at it, and then have the confidence to step out and have that 2, 5, 10 times mindset. to really get where you want to get to. And that's a culture that, if like your firm has, and I like to believe our firm has, we want those people to 5-10x their business, because we love to be around people like that.
Yeah, man. Man, I always say, like, kind of having an overflow of every sector of the pipeline. Just kind of like you talk about leads and stuff like that. Overflow of leads equals an overflow of appointments. And you have to
Right.
have an overflow of people that you're working with to have the overflow of closings consistently. But if any one of those sectors is not there, you're not gonna have what you want at the end of the day, which is that closings on a consistent basis, so that you can have consistency in your real estate business. I mean, what I used to do is I used to do some lead generation, get some business, and then start working that business, then go through the pipeline, have those closings, and it's like, oh man, I got to start back over again. So it's like I might have a great 1 or 2 months, but now I'm about to have a dip for another 2 months or whatever, or 3 months or whatever,
Right.
whatever time it takes for that whole transition to happen. And
Yep.
I think that's what you said about the lead generation part of it, helping them with that stuff, but also just kind of creating a goal, because if you don't have a goal to do that and you don't understand where you're going, that's how you get off track, and that's what was happening to me. It was like I was getting off track early on because I wasn't focused on the bigger goal, which is how do I make this a business rather than just be in production, right?
Yeah. I mean, you would agree. Let's call it 35 to 50% of the agents who get in the business are not business people.
Yeah.
They're hey, I get to show pretty houses and blah blah blah. That's our challenge as leaders in our businesses, is to plug those people in to becoming business people, because that will do exactly what you just said it solves, is to get you out of the roller coaster of 2 good months, 2 bad months. And they have to have that commitment, like I just talked about, the 4 C's and the courage. But um, you know when somebody sees like a successful organization like yours, and hopefully ours, they're like, yeah, that's them, but I'm not going to be that. I can't do that. That's way. I'm not good enough to do that. Well, guess what? If you surround yourself with those people within your organization, you start to get that confidence, and you get a little backbone, and there's everybody there is to help support you along the way. So it's so rewarding, right, James?
Yeah, yeah, man, absolutely, man. So, man, so it's been great, man. Just like knowing you and seeing what you've been able to do. So just on the event front itself, if somebody wanted to say, do some of the stuff that you're doing, being able to add value to their community, what are some of the first steps that you think that you would suggest for them to do?
Well, I know this sounds like a little weird. You got to think big,
Yeah,
because you don't want to be just what everybody else is doing. I mean, you want to think big. You want to, like someone said, oh, you got keeping current matters to come to Greensboro. Yeah, I made a phone call and followed up with a couple texts. So think big and have the vision, that the word that John Kitchen tells us all the time. Have the vision of what you want this. Who is your audience for that event? Another very important thing. You want to make sure you have a purpose and who you want to have there, so you're not all over the place, because then you get distracted, and then you fall off the pace, and all of a sudden you have 10 people show up instead of 30 or 40 or 50. So think big, um, for sure, and then make sure that you're targeting the audience that speaker that's coming is going to speak to, so that you know that the right people. You don't want somebody coming in to talk about how to build a CRM, and you invite 25-year veterans, because they're going to not show up, right?
yeah,
So have your curriculum, think big about what that event could be, and then, man, there's 2 things we did. We got a sales manager and we got a marketing person, because it's you got to have the who's to get you where you want to go. I'm not a marketing genius. I've been a sales manager. I don't want to be one again. So you get those people in place that can help support that thought process. And that's something I'd say to everybody. I mean, if you're doing 20 transactions a year, you need a transaction coordinator. If you're doing, 40, 50, you start to build a team, you need a sales manager, because you're never going to get out of production at some point. And then if you want to get the message out, you better have some marketing help. So those would be my building blocks I would suggest.
Man, I'm thinking while you're saying that, just John always says it's not how, it's who,
Right.
right? So that's the first thing that you got to put in place, is figure out who it is that's gonna be able to do that thing, rather than how you can actually personally do it.
Right.
So man, it's been great, just kind of going over this, and everything that you've been sharing for everybody. If anybody have any questions about that, I mean, definitely y'all can reach out to Michael. You can also reach out to me, jameshmassey.com. Like I said, once again, we're doing these every Thursday at 11 o'clock, interviewing somebody that's creating a massive impact in the real estate community. In fact, Michael, John is actually going to be doing our mastermind
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
so, so,
Awesome.
so it's one of those things that I'm extremely excited about it, because I mean, we already know how much value that he adds just into our life, but being able to do it to our group is going to be tremendous in and of itself. And by the
Well,
way,
if they want to know, anything about the event coming up, they would just go put in prosperity-builders.com, and on that website it'll have our save the date for the event, and how to engage and learn more about it. We have people coming in from Richmond. Michael Collier, Michael Collier down in
yeah, no, Michael
Michael's
Collier.
Michael's got a van full of people coming up to the event. So yeah, we'd love to have a lot of out of town people as well. I mean, the more the merrier. We'll all grow together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if anybody wants to join our mastermind, it's going to be on Zoom tomorrow. It's going to be at 12 o'clock Eastern time. I mean, you can DM me, reach out to me regarding that, and I'll send you the invite. You can go ahead and check that out. But Michael, man, it's been great, and like I said, I've been grateful. I see somebody's coming in the house.
That's my sidekick.
That's sidekick right there.
Yep.
But
Well, good luck with your mastermind, James. It's been really a pleasure to be with you.
absolutely, man. All right. Well, to the next time. Thanks, buddy.
Take care now.